trick on thrust bearings. A little bit of red grease on it. Then it'll sit and stick in place. Won't go anywhere. And then make sure that those oil grooves are on the outside. That'll be a bad day if you forget that.
The little lines right here?
Yeah, those little lines. This oil moves through that. This thing is adorable. So, it's a 1/4 inch stroke extra.
Yep.
Make more Hurspurs. All the Hurspurs.
There's thrust washers in that one.
And I use Permatex usually, but Sam wanted to try this stuff. It is a lot thinner. So if you're in a colder temperature, this would be better. But it's already 90 degrees here, so it's thin. Let's see which one. That's 5. And this one's 4. I've always been curious putting them out of order just to see what happens.
5, there's 4. Center, 2, and 1.
So really, to be in an engine assembly, you only need to know up to 16. There's really no bigger motor than that. So if you can count to 16, you can build a motor. I really need to put a foot under this thing. I built too good of an engine stand.
Yeah, moves too easy.
I put a John Deere 6-cylinder on it and I can push it with one finger. The block weighs about 1,000 pounds fully assembled.
So are you torquing them all the way at first, or are you
No,
just
I'm just
starting?
doing a 20-pound, keep it even, and then that's a good. Oh, hey, look, how good does that turn? Well, then we'll just keep going. So, the book will say you do this and this and this pounds and gas rate like from last seeing 76 pounds. So that's going to way up to it. So 20 before, so 50 now.
Perfect.
What's nice about this torque wrench is it counts for you. Since I can't count above 10, or in this case 9, because that actually has 10 volts. But yeah, it's got a nice little 10 right there. So
Thanks,
I
Snap-on.
know I'm good. They're just good stuff. So, first step is the oil. So you always stagger them.
Right.
So start with one facing you, and then
That one goes below.
kind of just like a book is gonna say, put the rings this order and do it this way. Well, if you did it by the book, it'd take you forever to find it in the book. So I've got this one facing this way. I've got the bottom oil scraper facing that way. So then I'm gonna put the top scraper facing to my left. Put that on. And second one, that's got a dot on the top telling me that that goes up. Have to make sure because it felt a little tight, but now it feels good. There's supposed to be like 2000s clearance, and that's what it feels like. It just felt tight at the beginning. So then this one is, so that one, the top one is over here of the oil. You're right, thanks. That one's there. So we're gonna put this one here at this angle. So the top scraper's here, second ring is here, so then we're going to put our top compression ring on this side.
We're going to put all these together before putting them in the block.
Yeah, we'll just get them all done. Someone's gonna yell at me for doing this.
We have to keep them in order.
So, the bolts don't matter.
Right.
You might as well just keep them on there, but these do matter. Do never mix those up because I had one on my Cummins motor. I'm lucky because there's serial numbers for each rod. But on these, there's not going to be serial numbers, so you're going to be sitting there for a while and measuring to make sure that because they're bolted and torqued together, and then they hone them so that it's a perfectly round circle. So you don't mix those up.
Does the side matter? Does it matter if they're flipped 180?
You can't because there's these notches where the tongue for the for the bearings,
Yeah.
and those are always going to be on the same side.
Gotcha.
I've never seen a motor where they're flipped.
No, that makes sense. We're missing two.
I already did when I did the dry assembly. Yeah, every time you dig a block, you dry assemble it to make sure you don't have piston protrusion. Because then you can just take it apart and then turn the head of the piston down to make it fit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's...
This one fit. It seems like better than this one does.
No, they're fine.
I'll spin them back together a little bit.
You're going to come right back apart, so then just a couple of threads. Because we're going to be moving them around, putting the pistons on them. I love these things. My dad said, "Oh, you don't need those. That's expensive because they're $50 a piece." And I've got a whole box of like 13 of them.
So you do this on the side away from the rings?
So you just want to make sure that you keep this crack away from a ring gap.
So you would want to put it.
No, there was a gap right there.
Put the crack over there.
Crack over here.
Yeah.
There was nothing on the back
That's
side of the
actually like
piston.
perfect. So you want to have just a little bit, because since it's adjustable, it's going to be oblong.
Right.
But this doesn't. You want a tiny bit of resistance, but not much. So that actually feels perfect. We're not going to adjust it because you can just tighten this hose clamp,
Right.
and then because you can buy individual ones that are for like a Chevy 350 standard, and then 20 over, and then 40 over, because then they slide in perfect because it's meant for that specific bore. But in my case, when I work on 50,000 different engines, you're going to spend a fortune. So I bought a bunch of these, and they're adjustable. They're nice. So let's make sure that this fits out good. Sometimes they don't.
That's unfortunate.
So we got front towards me. It'll fall off, but like so little, it's around one third. It's not much better. So I'll see engineering for this class. Put these sides in. Okay. It's not working. Okay, guys. Okay. See it? It went over here somewhere.
Oh, I heard. I just didn't see it.
So from what I'm seeing on this is it almost looks like you've got lower compression versus the stock piston.
So, but if we look at it right here, they actually finished near the same height. So, just take a look at where the wrist pin is compared to where the top of the piston is.
Yeah, you got a lot less
So
gap
the
there.
rods are the same distance, but the piston makes up and the crank make up for that. So that's how when you actually order this kit, there is an option on that kit where you can order just the pistons and the crank, and you can use your stock rods. The rods are the exact same dimensions. It's just the piston and the crank that are different.
Oh, okay. So your rod's not
And
different.
this one's actually a 9.7 compared to a 9.4.
But what I am also seeing is you've got a bigger dish than on this one. So I'm wondering if that lowers the compression a little bit. But since you've got more stroke, then it kind of equalizes that out. And then your boost ready.
But yeah, this is a 9.7 and that's a 9.4. Very good.
So assembly loop on the bearings, and then I just do oil here. Give it a nice good douse. And then here's the fun part. Just like that. Super easy. That's why I love these things. Just pop right in. A lot of people have the ones that you put a ratchet on and then you tighten the rings down and then you can slide them in with a hammer, which there's nothing wrong with those because those are cheap and really adjustable. But when you're doing it all the time, these are the way to go. And then we'll do.
Flip it over and
Yeah, we'll flip it. That handicap column. Because we don't have our pistons marked. Normally I'll have numbers. So if my pistons are marked, or the connecting rods, if they're marked, I'll do the front and then the back of one, and then I'll just tighten all these. Yeah. These aren't, I don't want to take that chance. Oh, and then these, but if you use their lube, you're gonna have the correct torque properly. Because if you do it dry, well now you've got a little bit of iron oxide or something in there that's gonna make it grind and not get the correct torque. Since these are clean with that lube, they're gonna be consistent. So I just go up against,
Yeah.
and then we'll torque them all.
You can hit number 4 now.
Yeah.
Number 4 is down.
Since that's down. So then we'll flip the motor back down. There we go.
We were doing it too slow.
Well, since it's oblong, it's not perfectly round. That's where if you get the set sizes, it's nice. Give me the bolts.
that concludes the series on the 22R for my buddy Sam. One of these days I'll have a video of his truck and what he thinks about it, showing it running, and so he's pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching.